Derek was diagnosed when he was 13 months old. We realized something was wrong when he was about 6 months old, and we went to countless hospitals. We were told we were overreacting parents, that he was okay, and we were just supposed to accept that. Deep down as a parent, you know that there's something wrong, and you have to fight for it because nobody else is going to fight for your child except for you. And we fought for it. And through his pediatrician, we were able to get an MRI, and I got the dreaded phone call when I was at work, and it's the one phone call no parent wants. It was a phone call where the doctor said, "Go ahead and get your family and come on down to my office so we can talk." And that's hard. It's hard because at that point you know something's wrong. You know it's something that they can't tell you over the phone. So it's something that important that you have to hear in person. And the news that we got was Derek has desmoid fibromatosis. And we asked the question, what is that? And the answer that we got was, I don't know. We don't know. It's so rare. No one knows what it is. No one has any answers. So the answer that we got was, let's just watch it. Let's just see what happens. And it was an acceptable answer for me. I started researching. At that time, they were just now researching it at St. Jude's. We were told Derek was the 4th child to be diagnosed with the desmoid fibromatosis. And within 2 days of that visit, we were at Children's Hospital. We met with an oncologist. They said, why don't you come back in 2 days? He's going to have surgery. We're going to install a Metaport, and we're starting chemo. It's hard. It's hard. It takes you back to make you look at, did I do something when I was pregnant? Is there something that I could have prevented to save him from going through what he went through? It's hard seeing him because you can't take that away. As a parent, you want to take all the bad away and put it onto yourself instead of seeing your child suffer. And it's the hardest thing in the world to not be able to do that. We started chemotherapy. Derek started chemotherapy. And life continues to go on. You're at the hospital several times a week, drawing blood, getting chemo. But you still have to balance your home. You still have to balance work. You still have to balance your everyday life because everything continues to move on. It continued, but things were a lot different. Things were never going to be the same. Things were always going to be different. There's always going to be, your weekly visits where you would go to the grocery store, go to a movie as a family. Now we're spending that time at the hospital, going through the chemo and seeing Derek change. It changed every aspect of my life in every way. I've never had anyone so close to me, let alone my child, be sick before. I saw a whole new life of hospitals and other children battling at the same time. It opened my eyes to a whole new world that I didn't really pay attention to before. It could have destroyed us, but it made us stronger instead. It brought us closer together, not only as husband and wife, but it brought our entire family closer. It was one where one of us would be very emotional and the other one would try to be the rock. And it constantly flip-flopped, and we weren't sure on, I wasn't sure on why I was really emotional and my husband wasn't. But it was a good balance where we were there to take care of each other and support each other through it. You always need that rock and that one person that's going to keep you sane and keep you going, because it's hard to see your child go through such a battle. From my family to his family, it brought everyone together, and it made everyone a lot stronger because it wasn't us going through the battle, so to say. It was Derek. And seeing how somebody so young can go through a battle of that type and be so resilient and just smile every day, it made us stronger people as a family. So during chemo, the medical bills started coming in. You don't only just get a bill from the hospital. You get a bill from your time at the hospital. You get a bill from the chemo medication itself. You get a bill from the labs, from the blood they drew. You get a bill from the oncologist, from the nurse. And they come in several times a day. You have a mailbox full of bills, and you realize, we've got to go through this battle, but how am I going to go through this part of the battle? How am I going to take care of that? When we were at Children's, we saw a poster for a benefit called a charity named Cops Fighting Cancer. They were having a benefit at the Hyatt, and it's titled the Family Event. We showed up to the family event, and we saw Officer James Seneca speaking. One of my dear friends from high school, was also an Aurora police officer. So he accompanied us to the event, and he introduced us to Jim. During the time, our friends and family had started to put together a benefit in Derek's name. They titled it Derek's Hope. And they invited Jim through us being able to meet him at the event. Jim showed up to the event. He asked for the microphone, which we all thought was a little odd. Who's this guy coming in? We know who he is, but why does he want the microphone? And he presented our family with a check, a large check, to be able to help us start to pay those bills. Because even though you're running tight and things are low and you're having to leave work for a little bit of time, you still have to pay those bills, and they still have to be paid on time. Jim showed up with a check, and from that point on, we got close to each other, and I started seeing the different families that he was helping. And at that time, it became my passion to affect other families the way that he affected our life.